Hello and welcome to this awesome highlight from Crystal Core Radio episode 15. If you guys enjoyed this highlight and you want to catch the entire podcast, the top link in the description will be for you, so you can go check the rest of this Final Fantasy Ultimate tier list. And then I would just, and that's what we did, and then we would drink.
I can't argue with that, man.
All right, man, board's yours.
Cool. Honestly, I think this is going really well so far, by the way, just want to say.
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
What is that? Is that Top Game FF3?
Yes, that is FF3. I tried to put them in order.
It's so interesting because I have opinions about these games, but there's some that I want to hear yours first, so I'm waiting.
Oh, that's fair. I'll take 3 next if you want to pick something else.
No, and I don't. I'm not saying 3 is one of them, but I'm gonna go with. God. What should I do? Okay, this is one I feel like I really want to say.
Okay.
I'm gonna give Tactics. I want to give Final Fantasy Tactics an S to a G. And my thoughts there are that it's amazing. The story is great. There's so much customization that you can do with your characters in Tactics. You can literally make your characters whoever you want based on how you play that character and what you do with them on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It kind of that's kind of the first game in its genre that I fell in love with. And now I love God, what was that game that came out this year for the Switch? Or last year was so good. Fire Emblem. Oh my God.
Yeah, Fire Emblem. Yeah, absolutely.
But that type of combat and I don't know. It's just an amazing game, and I think it's part of the reason I was so disappointed in 12.
That's actually a really fair point. It's the first introduction to Ivalice. I'm putting it at God tier. I don't think.
Woo! Oh, you're doing. But I cannot read you at all. I was dude,
I'm unreadable. That's it. 1 second. I'm just texting my wife back to make sure that everything's okay.
I was like, man, he's about to go, man. It's a C to me.
No, Tactics is not just the story. It also includes Cloud from 7 as that part of that PlayStation. The combat is incredible. The job system is incredible. That they've got the time age. It's to this point where I fault 11 for never introducing all of the Tactics jobs. I was like, give me a time age. Give me some of this stuff that we have in Tactics. To this day, it is I think Tactics is one of the things when it comes down to how you look at the job system within 14 and what is missing, because it was so beautiful and so powerful. And more. Now Chris is calling me.
Oh, it makes me think what are they doing?
Right.
You have this beautiful, amazing IP, Fire Emblem it up, dude. I want to play that.
The tragedy of Tactics is we haven't had another Tactics. We'll talk about Advance and Advance 2. I think those are important, but they're nowhere near what Tactics is. And where are they? It's a huge IP, and why haven't we seen it? And it's influenced so much within the universe. 12, well, it's influenced. Vagrant Story is a part of that. That was retconned to be a part of the Ivalice, but it's still a part of that whole world. And then, and so.
And you and I both have a feeling that 16 is going to be similar too. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, that's where I have a feeling. We'll have to wait and see here. 1 second.
It sounds like chat kind of thinks S, so maybe chat thinks we've gone a little too high.
Yeah.
On that one.
Oh, I don't think you would have to somebody would have to pay me to change my opinion. It's I can't. Tactics is anything but God tier. In fact, if there was a tier higher than God tier, I would put Tactics on that. If we were gonna sub score, I would move 12 up to an A. Honestly,
not only was 12 in the same world though, it borrowed some of the story elements from Tactics.
It did absolutely. So. All right. Oh man, yeah. Tactics is great. 11 is great. Honestly, it's to the point where if they were to marry 11 and Tactics, and we were be able to play in an online MMO world that's set in Ivalice, but having that sandbox element, having that dangerous world element, that would be my ideal. That marriage, for the perfect Final Fantasy game, it would be putting those two together. Hell, even bringing the Espers. The whole point at the end of the day, surprise, The ultimate Final Fantasy is when they take all of these and blend them together.
Right.
There you go.
Dude, it's like I don't think we found all negative things to say about a single game yet. Even ones that we put like there was something we liked about it.
Yeah.
Or something it did different. So
I want to kind of jump back, staying on the tactics trains. You have Tactics Advance and A2. I'm going to start with Tactics Advance. I love that it was a return, but for me, especially because it's on the Game Boy Advance, I can only go up to a C. I can only give Tactics Advance a C ranking. It has a lot of what I enjoyed, but then it takes place and maybe I misunderstood the story, but it felt like it was like you were taking in this real world and then they magically stepped into the world of Evilise through the books and and then it's like ultimately I'm definitely not as fond of Tactics Advance and A2. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever played those two, but when you say that I think I did, but I put it down.
Yeah, it's one of those that like did anybody in chat get completely hooked to Advance or A2? I really would love to know, because like for me it was one of those like if they brought it back to the Switch, if they gave me the ability to play it, I think I would have the exact same opinion where it was like, oh, I wish they just bring Tactics to PC. Like it doesn't follow I think the quality of what Tactics set originally.
Okay, yeah, I didn't play it. So.
Okay, cool. All right, board's yours, man.
Oof, is it time? Dude, I hated Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, really? Where should you?
The only thing I liked about that is the song Eyes on Me.
Yeah.
That's it. That's no, I'm just kidding. I played it again and I gave it a go. But I would give Final Fantasy VIII a C. I did not like the story. I did not feel invested in the characters. And I hated the growth system in that game.
So the growth system, like obviously have the junction system is what it's called. It's such an interesting system because it is not easily understood. Once I had somebody explain it to me in terms of like, you don't cast magic. You just want to farm magic, and that's going to give you the best stats, and you're going to just destroy.
Right. I hated that.
I'll talk about a couple positive things about it and this is going to get interesting because I think that the 8's contributions might come back in positive ways with a little refinement with 16. Just from the trailer alone, I looked at that. I go, that looks like the junction system. That looks like you're sitting here and you're joining up to some summons, and then there's going to be an impact on your gameplay. But the junction system, the non-casting, the cinematography, the bouncing between characters, I have a more controversial opinion of 8. I would give it an F.
Dude, you are so hard to read. I thought you loved that game.
8 is, I love aspects of that game, right? Like if I'm going to like talk to you guys about like playing through 8, there are things that I can appreciate and I will easily go up from an F. But when I look at the board, when I look at it where it falls, where it connects with, like, it has some beautiful characters, but I felt like it just missed so many marks. And I think it's better now. Like, you can go in and say, hey, I want to, like, if you like, don't worry about the system. So if I was going to give it a story and a character story overall, it's got a lot of interesting things moving for it. I like how the junction system ties into the story. If I was just going to talk about story alone, I could go B or C. Like, it's like, I appreciate that aspect. But I think when I look at it as a whole package, when I think about when you say, hey, Brian, what version, like, you could pick one to keep, you could pick one to get rid of, which one is it? And I would say 8. However, when I look at 16, like I said, I think we could see an evolution of the junction system brought into 16 or brought back. The thing I just really didn't like as a caster main, as somebody who, like, when you ask me what jobs do I want in 14, what jobs would I like to see in 11, it's like caster, give me more casters and options with mages. That. Mm-hmm. The fact that, like, magic was just, in my mind, once it was like you just farm the magic and then junction it to your skills and then you just kind of rickroll on everything. I was like,
yeah, it was not it to me, I think part of the reason I hate it so much is it's sandwiched between two of the greatest progression system. Like I love materia, and I love the idea of marrying your skills to your equipment and like earning those abilities.
Somebody can say like, I see A to say a C and A to an S for some people in chat. And I can understand why it is. Like, I can totally, like, yeah, I get that. But when you talk about sandwiching and, like, the context of where it also falls and my personal relationship with it, no.
Part of the reason I'm giving it a C is because I finished it. You know what I mean? Which is more to say than some of these games.
Would you be willing to go a D tier?
I would be. I think the chat would be mad at that, though.
I can understand. We'll let chat have a good say, and we can adjust some of these points here in a bit. But we'll have to give and take. So
I'm down to give it a D.
I'm gonna give A to D right now. I think that's it's
because I'd rather play World of Final Fantasy. I'd rather play that.
Yeah, so. I'd rather play World of Final Fantasy, Crisis Core. I'd rather play Tactics Advance over 8, hands down, 100%. Okay. All right, dude. You picked 8.
Yep. So it's all you.
It's my turn. Let's get let's get chat back on our side. I think Final Fantasy 15 is an interesting discussion. Okay. I think because again, the reason why we don't have 15 in the DLC, the reason why we don't have expansions and all of these different things on the game itself is because I think you have to take the whole thing into account. Now, I have yet to finish the Arden DLC. I'm actually waiting to the next gen consoles come out because they said the 15's loading time drops from like a minute or more to like 10 seconds. So I was like, oh, great. I'm more than happy to go and jump in and try to finish off that DLC if I'm not sitting here waiting at loading screens, for the next gen game. I actually really think overall with 15 as it exists, the gameplay, I go A. I can give 15 an A, and I know I'm probably going to lose some people on that because I actually really liked 15. Like when you go and you look at the story and the world and the characters and the summons and the blight, like if you go and watch the movie and the anime and if you consume the whole thing, it's that good. If you only consume part of it, I would give 15 an E. Like I could go that way. If you only consume like a chunk of 15, I can see how 15's everybody is so like divided on it. I don't know if that's surprising to you or if you disagree, but where are we taking 15?
So I thought 15 was a B.
Okay.
I fell in love with those boys, dude. They're my crew.
The bros.
Dude, I have this thing where I suspend all disbelief.
Yeah.
Like when I'm going into a movie, when I'm going into a game, I have that ability. And for that reason, I really enjoyed 15. I loved the combat.
Yeah.
Like I loved, air combos, timing your spells. Like I don't know. I really enjoyed the combat. I think for me, I don't know what it was, why it's not an A to me. Maybe it's just because I felt like there was a lot of the side quests were fetch quests.
Yeah.
And I wish they were more substantiated. Like you play like a game like The Witcher.
Oh, dude, hands down.
And you play a side quest, that side quest can have implications in the story later. And so the fact that 15, it was kind of like, oh, this thing's terrorizing, go kill it, go pick up this thing. Like I wish, because I liked the main story too, but I just wish they had this beautiful fleshed out world. I wish they did more with it.
And that's why I'll definitely give you a B on that, because when you take the fact that you have to experience the whole thing to really love it, not everybody's going to do that because not everything is included in the game, right? So it's like you got to go outside the game to watch that. So I can go 15. I can give 15 a B based off of that fact because not everybody's going to have that aspect. But man, I think the biggest misstep, like what kept 15 from really ascending into that S tier, is that when you got to the World of Ruin, when I walked into the World of Ruin, I go, this is awesome. But all the World of Ruin was just a straight shot to the final boss. And that was the biggest misstep, I think, of that game, is that all of it, I was like, oh gosh, we've been away. Oh gosh, the bad guys have won. Like it was so, like, I would say 15 had, like, if we were going to just do at some point we need to do the Final Fantasy villains tier list. Like, who are the best villains? And Arden is one of the best villains in the Final Fantasy series. Like,
yeah, he's good.
Kefka, Arden, Sephiroth. Like, I think when you look at those three guys, like, that's where a fight is, like, who would win, like, right, out of all of them.
That's
And
why
so-
9 is not God tier to me.
Right, 9 isn't.
I think if 9 had a better villain, it's God tier.
Genesis is really an interesting villain within 9, but he's so invisible.
You have no idea what's going on.
Exactly, and that's where it's like I wish 9 would continue in that way in regards. Okay, 15. I think we both feel confident that rating it at a beer would be nice. A B tier is good.
All right.
I hope that you really enjoyed that highlight, and I hope that you check out the full podcast. Again, link is in the description. Thanks for being here, and I hope you have a fantastic day, you wonderful, beautiful individual.